We have a saying around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
What's up? What's up?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Welcome to episode 170 of No Brains, No Headache podcast. Damn glad to be here. Happy to meet you. My name is Jordan Weichel. I'll be your host today, as always. And I'm joined with my co-host, confident, longtime friend, fellow comedian. His name is Matt Cleary. Matt, how the heck are you?
Doing great today. Glad to be recording.
Yeah, we got a lot of things on the docket. We got Cleary's comments coming up. That's the segment where we banter about random things. As always, we'll talk about Facebook Marketplace. Have a few doozies there. Mini Helmet Fantasy Football, of course. We are a few weeks into the 2023 season, so we got to talk about it. But we got a good one ahead. Really looking forward to recording on this fine day. We are here in mid-September 2023. The seasons are changing. It's causing me to have a little bit of a depression, but I think we're going to be okay. We're going to work it out. What are your thoughts on just life lately?
Sad boy season is upon us, and I am excited.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. Turns out time doesn't stop, and neither do the episodes here of No Brains, No Headache podcast. Make sure you're checking out all of those on whichever platform you're listening on. By following or subscribing, we have done 2.5 years, 3 years. How far are we? What's the math?
It'll be 4 years in May.
3.5 years of podcasting. Pretty wild stuff. That number just keeps growing, and you keep listening, apparently. So thank you so much for joining us. We have plenty to talk about. Matt got after the drinks a little bit on Friday night, and maybe we should just start there.
Okay. Let's party.
So, to preface this, I went out to happy hour, which I normally do after work on Friday.
Weekly tradish.
Then I came home like I'm going to have a nice night, play a little NCAA football, maybe jerk off, and think I hear a mouse in my ceiling. And turns out it was just the dog upstairs scratching himself, and it was rubbing on the chair.
Okay.
But I went to set a mouse trap in between my washer and dryer, and I'm like sitting crisscross applesauce, being very delicate with this thing, as someone pounds on my front door, and I like flinch, and it just snaps. Hurts like a son of a gun. You guys come to pick me up because apparently we're going to live music. I'm already pretty well in the bag at this point. And yeah, I went to live music, and it was okay.
Let the record show that it was not my idea to come pick you up. Matt and I have been friends for about 25 years now, give or take, in our short lives. And I'm not oblivious to the fact that, you know what, Matt enjoys his alone time. Once he gets home for the night, it's very unlikely that he comes out after that. But you happen to do that on Friday night. And then I also happen to, as our listeners may know, the loyal listeners of No Brains, No Headache podcast, I have an outstanding debt with you. Anytime we take a vacation with each other, I don't pay for it. Are you kidding me? Why would I do such a ridiculous thing? I make Matt pay for it. But then I feel bad. I do have a conscience. I feel morally obligated to pay you back. So I gave you a payment, to pay off the debt a little bit. About 25% of the payment was taken care of. Then we go to this concert, and I pay for myself and my girlfriend, and then you pay for yourself and our other guest because it was $15 entry fee, and you said that I owe you $15. So I figured we should just hash that out now. I do have a running tab. Literally have a note in my phone that says running tab with Matt.
There's some great ones in there of like how you make money back on it. It's like bet $20 on high school boys basketball game.
Oh, this goes back a year already. So I think we restarted one because I have 826, and that was like the first one. So that's been over a year because we also did the Vegas trip last year, figuring out hockey tickets, flights, hotel. But as you can see, Matt, let's see, we got a few doozies in here. Hotel room mishap. That's when Matt decided to only book a hotel room for like 2 of the 3 nights we were there. Fruit snack bet. We bet how many fruit snacks were left in the box at the time.
Oh, yeah. That was a fun one, actually.
We bet high school basketball, Fargo North over Century and Central Cass over Shiloh with spreads.
It's the show. Also, did I come up with those spreads?
I have no idea. Pull tabs. I forgot my wallet. Yeah, we were in the studio actually just a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I'm going to go get some food. I'll be right back. I said, fuck. Matt already knew what was going on. He had a $20 waiting for me. But here, I got reimbursement for the concert, $15. I feel as if I shouldn't have to pay this.
I don't really care at this point, if I'm being honest.
Okay, then we're deleting it.
Okay.
Because it wasn't my idea, just because, I'm sober now, and we will get into the sobriety update. I'm usually now the driver. Happy to do it. Glad to do it. It's important to do so. But I was more peer pressured by the passengers of the vehicle to come get you. And I was like, he's probably not going to come out, so deal with it. And then you did. And then it was your choice to pay. If anything, you should have said, you drugged me out of my house. You pay for this. Chivalry isn't dead. You offered to pay for the lady friend.
I mean, headlights were on. No one was home at that point.
Is that what the saying is?
I don't think so, but yeah, it was a rough one for me. I honestly didn't even know what the band was playing. There was just a lot of lights going on and off.
So the band was John Wayne and the Pain, and I come to find out, it was actually a very nice show, had a good time. I came to find out that it is, I believe it's ska, which is a reggae,
It's like
reggae.
Yeah, that's like a
punk rock.
Yeah, it's like a 90s thing.
Yeah, dude had a great voice. Very interesting crowd. A few people in the crowd definitely haven't showered recently, but that's okay. I'm not going to judge, the hygiene of the crowd members. But I did find out a whole new genre of music. At one point, Matt was like, they're not even fucking playing anything. They're just making noise up there. Matt was not a fan. Also, what was it, $7 beer night?
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and they only had like weird flavors of beers. So like they had like one, I think like normal like light beer that I would drink like a ton of. But other than that, it was like, nope, don't have that, don't have that. It's like, great, we have PBR and BBR.
I had a couple mocktails, but we will get into that. I just wanted to take care of the whole $15 fiasco. I'm pretty frugal. Every cent counts. So back down to it. I made my payment. For those of you scoring out there, I made my payment to Matt, chipping away at the debt because that's what I do. Let's get into Cleary's comments, shall we?
Couple viral videos this week. First one that came out, I think, yesterday or the day before, Lauren Boebert. She is a representative from Colorado. Fairly attractive girl, big-time Republican.
36 years old.
She was in a movie theater, and...
okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh.
She was just vaping with her cans out, and then was just given an OTPHJ to her significant other during it was a showing of Beetlejuice. So there was a lot of kids around. Same lady that literally like 2 weeks ago was talking about how we can't have kids go into libraries with these books, and she's just doing all sorts of things in a movie theater.
Her boobs were out?
Yeah.
Like fully out, or just a lot of cleavage?
But like great boob day for her. And she was removed from the movie theater. There's a video of what takes place, and she was like, they told her that she couldn't vape.
It's the holidays.
Oh God. Oh God.
3 ticks.
How do I get out of this? It just automatically started playing. It didn't even give me any choice. Fuck.
Yeah, and she...
Jesus Christ.
So she is just clearly vaping in the video, and she blamed it on a fog machine, which I was like, okay. And then immediately walked it back the next day when she woke.
Boebert.
God damn it.
Boebert. And she, I mean, she was looking good.
Okay, I'm watching the video now. It looks to be pre-movie. They're on the edge. She seems to be on some sort of date. Okay, yeah, her boobs are hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay, I really like what I'm seeing. It's black and white. Oh, she's taking a ton of pictures of them.
Yeah, she was doing like a flash too during the theater. Doing basically everything you shouldn't do in a theater if you're an adult.
I mean, the only other thing she could have done was whipped out a homemade packed sandwich that where the wrapping is just like okay, she's coming out of the theater and the boobs are looking really good.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a good boob day for her.
And yeah, I mean, not a great day for her in general, but it was such a funny thing to happen because like the hypocrisy of her being like, I gotta protect our kids, and then you went to a kid-friendly show of Beetlejuice, which I haven't seen since I was like 6. It is very clearly like a kid's kind of like scary but not scary movie. And
It can be scary.
I mean, I find it terrifying even as an adult. But the things she was doing in a movie theater were basically what like an 8th grader would do.
You were getting OTPHJs in the 8th grade?
No, but like the cool 8th graders were.
Oh. Probably I wasn't a cool 8th grader.
Yeah.
That sucks. Let's move on now that I'm sad. Sad in pants.
Did you see the guy Headbutt?
Yes, that was
That
fantastic.
video was so great. I was watching the video and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, this guy's in a lot of trouble at a sports game. I don't think he could get in any more trouble. And this guy lays down what I'm going to call the cleanest headbutt I have ever seen.
Yes, he made good contact.
He is handcuffed and just whack, drills this guy who is like, kick him out of the game. And the guy just goes down like a sack of potatoes.
Well, first thing I noticed is anytime you see any sort of restraint video, there's always the one law enforcement individual that's there because the human body is only so big. And, you know, if you're on the ground, if you have 2 people like on the back or the torso area, you can't really fit another one in there. But normally it's a human reaction just to kind of start kicking a little bit and flailing. So there's always a cop, and you guys are going to notice this the next time you see a restraint video. Trust me on this one. There's always that cop there holding down the legs. And it's a very awkward, it's an awkward thing to do. The cop looks funny, and it's the first thing I noticed was just like, oh, okay, we have the classic cop, like the 4 people sitting on the head / torso aren't enough. Oh, I'm going to hold these legs down.
Yeah.
Say, oh, great job.
It's like, do you give that to the is that like a good thing to have? If you're a seasoned cop, do you get the legs, or is that like rookie get on the legs?
If I were a cop, I would prefer to not be a part of the altercation. I'll do crowd control. I don't want to be part of the altercation whatsoever. Was this at a Bengals-Ravens game?
I think so.
Okay. So then that's the first thing I noticed. Second thing was, like, I have kind of been in a similar situation, I guess. You know, we're 2 longtime friends from Bismarck, North Dakota, who are mindlessly entertaining, in case you haven't figured that out yet. North Dakota doesn't have a single professional sports team, in case you didn't know that as well. A population, there's room for improve. And so we don't exactly get into a lot of those situations. However, I feel like I have been in similar situations where you see somebody like getting arrested or getting detained or whatever the case is. I'll always watch.
Yep.
But I'm not going to participate by any means. Like, even if it's like, wow, what a fucking idiot, I'm going to say that quietly and under my breath to my friends or whoever I'm with. Then you have this wise ass, and I don't really feel too bad for the guy who got head-butted. I don't feel bad for him at all. What did he say? Did we get a confirmation on that?
It was something along the lines of, way to get kicked out of the game, buddy, or something like that. Like super sarcastic, like didn't need to be said.
Very unnecessary.
Yeah.
If a dude is getting detained, if he's getting restrained by multiple cops, I feel like that's somebody you shouldn't mess with. Secondly, tempers are flaring at the moment. You know, the guy is upset, he's pissed. At that point, he has nothing to lose. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh well, whatever. I'm already cuffed.
Yeah, if someone's going bananas, the worst thing you could say is
Egg him on.
Yeah, calm down. You know what that's gonna make him do? Get even madder.
It's like calling a crabby person crabby.
Yeah, are you crabby? No, I'm not crabby, but now I am. Thanks.
No, when people say, are you crabby? It's like, yes, I am fucking crabby, but it's up to me to call me crabby. Yeah. You calling me crabby makes me angry. I'm no longer crabby, I'm angry. Now I'm pissed. So I don't feel too bad for the guy who decided to egg on the criminal in question here. And yeah, lays down a clean headbutt. And like, those fighting videos, the physical altercation videos, it's always so interesting to see when they have clean contact and the person immediately passes out. Because it happens so quick, you're like, did he even hit him?
It was
the same case for this.
I mean, it was like everyone's not like that guy's a dick. Everyone's like, dude, that's a hell of a headbutt. Like, respect.
Yeah, that was a great headbutt. And yeah, the guy he goes limp. He goes straight down. And then if you kind of watch the tail end of that video, it's funny to see like the way the crowd parts of like the empathetic people go to the guy who just got knocked out cold with a headbutt, and then you have like the extra officers and probably a few bystanders who are like, what a fucking asshole, like, and just go restrain him. It's like, second and thirdly, actually, this would be third point, the police, the law enforcement individuals, they should not have let him be so close to other people. They should have had...
There was like 5 cops there, and then once the guy got headbutted and went down, like the cops were like, oh shit, let's go check on the guy that just went down, when we could have just been standing in a different position and it prevented it altogether.
Yeah, like if you have, like I said earlier, you have the few cops who are grinding their knee into the kidney, and then you have the cop that's just not really doing anything, and that's totally my spot of like, I want it to look like I'm doing something, I'm not actually doing anything. The leg patrol cop. Yeah. Beyond that, it's like, okay, let's get the fuck back, because also then what happens is you have the person who got the video. Now in our case as the viewers, I'm glad this person got the video.
Yeah.
From a police station standpoint, it's like, why? How the fuck did you let somebody get a fucking video? Do you know how shitty we are treated every time a video gets like leaked out there?
I just think
they are going to nitpick everything you do.
I think of Captain Gene coming in like the Monday morning after this happens, and the other guys just come in and he's like,
"We got a big one."
Yep. What did he tell you to do? Stay away. What did you do? We did not stay away.
We had a big day out there, big one. We got a full moon. People are gonna be amped.
And pretty much they should have had crowd control, and it doesn't have to be like the most crowd control, but it's like, hey, back people up a little bit so somebody doesn't get a video and all of you don't get fired for not doing exactly every procedure exactly correct, because law enforcement is just under scrutiny if you sneeze wrong, there's a chance that you're going to get put on leave. And then you don't get a poor guy. And like I said, I don't feel too bad for this guy, but then you don't get an innocent bystander, we could say, headbutted in the face. Flip side, though, we got a pretty sweet video out of the deal, and I think headbutts are making a comeback.
Yeah. I mean, if you can just muster up that clean a one while handcuffed, respect.
Yeah, and also, and that just goes to my point again, he did have to travel a little bit of length to get close enough for the headbutt. If you guys are all of our loyal listeners are listening out there, just like bend the torso forward. You can only reach so far. So homeboy in the handcuffs, he had to go towards this guy, and it's like the cops, like, this is your job. Like, you wonder why that
one of them's eating a hot dog as the guy's just venturing out.
Another guy's like debating like a position in his fantasy football team. He's just like,
"What are you thinking on DraftKings in this game?" "I'm thinking T. Higgins, but I might go Jamar Chase." Whack!
So to the synopsis of the whole viral video headbutt thing, and if you have another one, please share. But when other people suck at doing their jobs, it gives us entertainment.
Yep. And so this is not any like people sucking at their jobs, but the last one, I don't know if you saw, it didn't go as viral, but there was a fight at the Eagles-Vikings game.
Are you not entertained?
Like in the 300 level where the stairs are pretty steep and there's one Vikings fan going up against about 7 Eagles fans.
Are you not entertained?
Didn't the Vikings fan team up with the Eagles
fan?
Yeah,
they were like, it was weird because there was like, I didn't know who was fighting who at this point.
The first time I saw that video, I thought for sure a poor Vikings fan was getting the shit kicked out.
That's what I thought immediately, but there was other people getting involved. And the fact that they're doing this on a very steep concrete staircase just makes it even better.
That's what problem, excuse me, with these stadium fights is it's not a level playing field. Literally, it's not a level. It is literally, there are seats, there's people, there's fucking hot dogs. Somebody spilled their nachos, so you're slipping on the nacho cheese. There's steps, there's handrails. You're wearing like big clothing.
Yeah, it's like
you're drunk.
It's a recipe for disaster, and I, for one, am here to watch it at all times.
I'm just glad that the Eagles and Vikings could come together on something.
They did. It's what brings people together.
Yeah.
Not like a national tragedy where all sports teams are standing together singing the national anthem. It's a fist fight in the nosebleeds where one group of people from one team comes together and helps out the other team.
Yeah, it's like the classic, the handshake emoji, where it's like the Vikings and Eagles normally don't get along.
Yeah.
The Vikings are the Eagles' bitch.
It's like
for the last
Vikings
7
and
years.
Eagles versus asshole fans.
Yes, but they're like, hey, you know what? Why not for, instead of being foe, why not for one fist fight in section 203 on a Thursday night?
You just lock eyes and just kind of give a head nod and be like, let's go. You mentioned earlier about being the guy that like wants to be close, just to, like check it, like what's going on.
Yeah, I love watching.
That reminded me when we were at a softball tournament and it was a home run derby and there was a guy standing not paying attention. And this guy is standing on a cooler at the end of the fence, just kind of like looking, but like looks away. And what happens in home run derbies is home runs get hit quite a bit. And we are in like, you have to watch because softballs are coming in hot. And this guy takes a softball clean to the face.
Yeah, dude, I actually know that guy. Nickname, Skeeter. So he's good.
And I remember like the ambulance came and like I was like the classic like what like a dad would do if something was like coming. I'm like holding my beer and like I just go up to like a random person. I'm like, so what do we got going on here? It's like,
what the hell happened? Did you see anything?
Dude got hit in the face. I just put on like a volunteer sheriff's badge.
Well, I do remember that happening, and I didn't mean it in a sexist comment, but there was a guy who went up immediately to help him, and I was like, I kind of said to somebody, I was like, shouldn't we get like, does nobody here have any medical background? And then somebody's like, that person works in the ER. I'm like, oh, okay.
I actually worked with that guy at the hockey rink.
I was like, I wasn't stereotyping or just assuming that this masculine man wasn't a nurse or something related. But then it was like, wow, that actually is the right person to be there. That guy actually the next year ended up wearing a helmet to said home run derby.
I mean, you
got to make light of the situation and for safety reasons.
Yeah. He actually needed it later that night. Yeah.
His awesome insurance agent was like, if you ever go back, I'm sorry, kind of got to wear a helmet.
I mean, awesome week for viral videos. And great stories, to be honest.
Yeah, that was. We had a great week of viral videos. Thank you for sharing, Matt. Let's get into a little bit of an update here on my sobriety. As the listeners may or may not know, I decided to take a break from the alcoholic beverages, abstain for them for 30 days. At the time of recording, it is day 22. And the stipulation is, the loophole is, since I work at a distillery, I am allowed to do samples. And I said I'm going to be honest with it. I'm going to keep track of them. So let's go over week 3 samples, shall we? So it wasn't a real big one. Last Monday, after we were done recording, I went to a brewery with some friends. I didn't drink anything, but while I was there, I did have 3 samples, just a very small shot cup of beer. So I didn't think it was the end of the world. Then I was really good Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. However, we get to Friday. Let's just say things got a little bit out of hand. The distillery that I work for, we had a booth at the downtown street fair here in Bismarck, North Dakota, the fine city of Bismarck, the capital city. And I don't even know. I lost track. Because a little trick in the sales industry, if you will, the little sales tactic is when people are sampling your products, maybe they're unsure about it, you take a sample with them, makes them feel more comfortable about it. It's similar to a cocaine dealer doing their own cocaine.
Okay.
Which is like, hey, this stuff's not going to kill you. Watch this. I'm going to do it myself. So I'm pretty much just saying I'm a cocaine dealer, but but I would guess that I did at least a dozen of them. And then at the end of the night, we had a bunch of samples already poured out. And I was like, okay, I'll pour some of these out. But I was like getting anybody who was walking by, like, hey, come do this. So
can my 6-year-old have one? Come on over.
Step right up. Yeah, so let's just say I did a dozen, a dirty dozen. And then I also had 3 on Sunday when I was playing bartender for the dinner I was at. So let's just call it 18 divided by, let's just say I had 4 ounces of booze in week 3. Okay?
Not bad.
I mean, I don't know what you guys want from me, all right? You want me to go stone cold sober? Well, I'm going to need a new job then.
Yeah.
If I go stone cold sober, I will be unemployed because it is part of my job to taste booze. A few things. On Friday, we went to that concert. I had a couple of mocktails. I told the guy, hey, just give me whatever your best mocktail is. Turns out you can make a Moscow Mule pretty easily without booze.
Isn't it just ginger beer and...
Yeah, I don't think you really replace the vodka with anything. You just like fire up a ginger beer with lime and ice. And
put some, was it mint leaves on it or something?
You put whatever the hell you want in there. It's your drink. Yeah. But so I had that, and then I ordered a second one. The whole thing was foam. I don't know if you noticed that second drink I had on Friday came in like almost like a martini glass, which wasn't great. Also, I left that martini-looking glass at the table because I went out to the crowd to kind of check out the music and dance, and I was like, I don't want this goddamn martini-looking glass. And then somebody brought it out to me. They're like, you forgot your drink. And I'm like, thanks. Yeah, I know.
Throw it over the railing.
I did that by design, but had a few mocktails. I was sucking down the mocktails like they were going out of style. And then as if it was divine intervention, Matt, I don't know if you remember at the end of the night, we got some beers brought over to us that were just like accident orders or whatever. You had the one, and I got offered a free Budweiser Zero because people are asking me, like, have you had any NAs? Or like, I've seen people in the past order Budweiser Zero. Maybe I'm just intrigued by the can. It's just a white can. I don't know why.
Cool looking one.
It is a cool looking can. Thank you. And so I was like, I would probably try one of those given the opportunity. Boom. One got set in front of me. Turns out it's not great.
Yes.
I couldn't bring myself to drink the whole thing. And it's not like I'm really embarrassed. Like, I personally don't give a shit what really anybody thinks about anything most of the time. We're stand-up comedians, man. If you give a shit what people think, you are in the wrong industry. But I think what I would do, you know, and I haven't really gone to watch football in a bar setting, heavy drinking setting, but I think what I would do is pour the beer into a cup.
Yeah.
So then you got the look as if it's like a real beer. You know, my beef with the NAs, I know that they have to mark them a certain way, but it's just so obvious. It's like, and it's not that once again, I don't care what people think, but it's just like, I don't want to bring any extra attention if I can avoid it. I think the cup takes care of that situation.
Having like a white can, like it being a cool can, when you turn 21 right away and you'd go into like the booze store and you'd be like, the world is my oyster. Would you ever just buy stuff because it had like a cool, like looking can or like a bottle or something?
Oh, absolutely. All the time. And then I actually had one of my bartenders recently, them and a friend came in and we were kind of sampling some other booze, some absinthe, some stuff like that. We're big in the sampling, seeing what's good, what's bad. Well, they decided to bring in, because they thought it was funny, a bottle of rum, and the glass bottle was in the shape of a large penis and balls.
Is that any good?
Shortly after, the glass penis and balls fell off like the chair and shattered everywhere. I was like, oh, well.
I have to go have fun cleaning that one up.
Yeah, that's too bad. Could have doubled as a pleasure seeker. But one thing I also noticed with the whole sobriety thing, 22 days down, 8 to go. Boy, am I excited for a drink. It's weird when you don't feel well during sobriety because you don't have the scapegoat of drinks to blame it on.
Yep.
Haven't been feeling the best today. But the other side of the sword is that it's just like, well, I know what it's not. I know I'm not hungover, and so that kind of stinks. Felt like absolute garbage today. Day of recording, and I knew it wasn't because of the drinks. So turns out you can still feel like crap when you're sober. Somebody told me, they asked me how it was going. I said it's great, but I have been noticeably like very tired. Apparently, my body has just been busy getting rid of all these toxins. It's like, Jesus Christ, how many toxins did I have stacked up in there?
Turns out my biological age is 20,000 years old.
And then I'm actually convinced that I'm now just withdrawing from alcohol 3 weeks in. It's like I had so much booze in my bloodstream that it took 3 weeks for the withdrawal.
Slow burn.
Sobriety update. Week 4 up next, and then we will finish it out, and I'll tell you all about the first, getting drunk again.
Oh,
it's like learning to ride a bike.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. Kind of workshopping a new segment called FML of the week. Basically, something that happens to me that's kind of like, fuck my life. And the first one I had wasn't so bad. I just thought I was like innovative. Like, when Alec thought he like invented underwear pretty much. What the fuck? And he was like, yeah, you like put it under your pants. And I was like, okay, that's just underwear.
Wasn't it denim? Wasn't he trying to come up with a denim thing, but then just explain what underwear was? I don't know.
It was essentially like, he's like,
it was a doozy.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is the dumbest thing ever. But I had it this week where I went and I've been on a big yogurt kick.
Okay.
And they have those Whips yogurts, which are just like lighter. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to
Whips?
The Whips. And I was like, I'm going to freeze this. And I'm like, I'm the smartest person ever. And I was telling everyone about it. I was like, my sister, I was like, dude. So I took this yogurt and I froze it. And she's like, yeah, that's frozen yogurt. And I was like, what?
What?
I was so convinced that I had invented frozen yogurt for about 3 days. And then I looked at one of them I took out of the freezer, and it literally says on the front, try me frozen.
You don't read the packaging. You just read the name and the flavor.
I was like, anyone I could meet, like I would answer the phone at work. I'm like, have you ever tried to put in your yogurt in the freezer? It's pretty good. Also, you have the wrong number.
Just going out of your way to tell people about frozen yogurt, something that has been around for decades.
I was like, oh, the street fair's in town. Maybe I could bring out my put in yogurt in the freezer. And my sister was like, that's frozen yogurt. And I was like, oh my God. Just kind of like glass shattering, like the penis jar. I was just miffed because I thought I discovered the greatest thing ever. And then doing further investigation when it says in pretty large lettering on the front of the package, try freezing me. And I was like, God damn it.
Have you ever had a fruit dip? It's just like a white.
Oh yeah,
dip,
yeah.
Dip your fruit in it. So, I was at a mutual friend of ours over the weekend, and she had made some fruit dip, and I'm like, oh, this stuff's pretty good. I was like, man, this tastes exactly like the stuff my mom made when I was a kid. And she's like, I was complimenting it. She's like, yeah, it's just half marshmallow puff with the white stuff and half cream cheese. And my jaw dropped to the ground. I was like, that's it? She's like, yeah, equal parts, just mix it together. And I'm like, my whole life, coming up on 3 decades on planet Earth, and I had no idea that fruit dip was 2 simple ingredients you can get at the grocery store. When I was a kid, it tasted so good, I would almost just want to eat it by itself. I was like, there's got to be some sort of complex concoction.
It's a family recipe.
With exotic seasonings and ingredients. And turns out it's pretty much half made for you at the grocery store. And then I was like, don't judge me if I just eat this straight. And there was no judgment. And then I ate it straight. It was so good.
Another FML of the week. I sent the video to you, but my office was flooding, and so it wasn't raining or anything, but I was sitting in my office, and all of a sudden I hear kind of like some water dripping, like kind of like tapping on the ceiling, and I like go out and I like look, and I was like, oh shit, that's coming through the ceiling. And I'm on the first floor, there's 2 floors above me, so I go look on the second floor, and this janitor's closet, there's just water spewing out of it, and I was like, oh shit. Went
like under the door?
Yeah, and then I went into like open the janitor's closet to like see if someone like left a faucet on or something. Door's locked.
Of course it is.
And so I go up to the 3rd floor, and they're like, our bathroom's flooding. And I was like, okay, so you're the culprit. And I go, at this time it took me like 5 minutes to go up there, and it went from a subtle water dripping in to flooding in.
Enough!
And I'm watching this, and I'm like, this sucks. And it is like poop water. Like, it's gross. And I put like a popcorn bucket underneath to catch it. Like, turns out offices aren't equipped for flooding. And then I see that one of the like drop down ceiling tiles is going to break. So I'm like, I'm setting my phone up. I'm going to video this. And sure enough, I catch the video of it breaking the ceiling tile and coming down. And
is that what you sent me?
Yeah.
Dude, I thought you just sent me a video of the water dripping, and I was like, what is this? I watched for a second. I was like, no, I'm not watching a video of the water dripping. Like,
no.
You told me what would happen, then you sent me a video, and I'm like, why did he send me a video?
Oh, no, it's like 15 seconds long. If you watch to the end, whole thing falls. And I send it to one of my friends who actually did the cleanup the last time my office flooded, and it's like what he does for a living, and he goes, good thing you had those buckets there, as the thing just collapses on top of the bucket and spills it everywhere.
The bucket spills everywhere.
Yeah, it's like, and you could clearly see that it's just brown water coming down. It was absolutely disgusting.
I tried this one chilling that set my mouth on fire, and I had to drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
And then they brought in those like fans they used to blow up like bounce houses, and just had those going all weekend. And I come into work this morning and they're still going. And I work for like 10 minutes, and I just get up and unplug them both because they were just like, and I'm like, okay, I'm not working like this.
Yeah, actually, in my own apartment, I have a hearing problem because I have like 4 different fans going on full blast just to keep the airflow going. It's beyond white noise. We are past white. It is noise. It's just constant noise.
It's just just have this drummer in the corner. Just
Is that all you got for Fuck My Life of the Week?
Yep.
Fantastic. We are winding down the golf season here, but I just kind of thought of this in passing over this last weekend. So, Matt, when you're golfing and you're sharing a cart, let me ask you something. How do you decide who drives?
Depends on who you're golfing with.
Okay,
if I'm playing with someone from out of town, I'll usually drive because I know the course.
Out of town.
If I'm playing with someone I play like on the rag, I'll usually not want to drive. I'll just throw my clubs on there, and so then I can just get to hang out. There's no pressure. But I don't mind driving. I just really don't care that much. I did pull my groin leaning out of the cart to grab a ball from the right side, so I can only do it from my left side this year. So that was a tough one, but yeah, I mean it's depends on who you play with, where you're playing at.
What does it say about each person in their respective spots of driver or passenger? I feel like the driver's always the better golfer. At least maybe that's how I was treated as a shitty golfer every time I have golfed with somebody who clearly does this as a hobby.
If I'm playing with you, I'm driving. That's
the fuck does that mean?
You're bad at golf. I mean,
What the fuck?
I'll do that just because I'm okay, I can hurry this along a little bit.
Oh my God. From here on out, you keep your distance, all right?
That's what I think about your last comment.
I mean, I don't like driving, but if I know that I'm playing with someone that doesn't play as much, or if they're equally as good to me, or whoever gets there, if their clubs are on the driver's side, I don't care if I'm riding. If their clubs are on the rider's side, I don't care if I'm driving.
Would you say golf is expensive?
Yes. It's
why is it so expensive?
Outside of hockey, it's the most expensive sport.
But why?
Because you have to pay green fees. The clubs are super expensive.
Okay, let's take clubs out of that. You usually have, in my case, I have a few different sets of clubs that if I need to go, I just hit these people up.
Yeah, but every course it's 50.
What about the cart fee? We're talking about carts here.
That's at least $20 for 18 holes minimum for just the cart fee, plus the green fee is usually $30, and that's on the low end.
Yeah, that's very low.
It's it's $50, and it's $50, so I can be angry for 4.5 hours. Sweet.
I do always love the, when you're in a golf cart and say you're designated passenger, and then for some reason you and the driver get split up when you drive with your left foot, and then you reach over. I mean, it's a golf cart. It's not very difficult to drive, but you drive over to them with it, or running into other golf carts. Love doing that.
So fun.
What's your stance on drifting, Tokyo Drift?
If you can do it, I would do it, but don't get in trouble.
Do they get pretty pissed?
Yes.
What about being with have you ever been with somebody who knows a lot about mechanical things and is just let's take the governor off of this?
I can do it in any golf cart. Okay. If it's a gas cart, I can take the governor off of it, but it's so bad for the cart because
your cart, you paid $20 for it.
You can get them going 35 miles an hour, and then when they stop and then you start again, they just backfire all the time. It's so fun, though.
Yeah, well, if you're renting it, that's your job as the consumer is to beat the piss out of it.
Break the cart. Yeah, working at a golf course for 10 years, I've seen carts come back without the top thing on them. Which,
as a golf course, what does the golf course do to take action?
I think eventually they just got people to sign. You had to sign for the golf cart,
almost a waiver.
Yeah, that you're liable for it. We used to not do that, and then people.
How much are these golf carts running? 2, 3, 4, 5,000?
They're $5,000, but you buy 50 of them. So I mean, you got a bunch of extras, but at the same point, it'd be okay, we have 50 golf carts, and 14 of them have broken down in the first week. We need to start doing something different. Or someone's just dragging an entire tree branch up the last hole. And you're God damn it.
What is your stance on unstrapping your partner's bag and driving away? Or whatever?
There's two things. You can do it to people with nice clubs, as far as you're not on concrete.
Okay.
If someone has shitty golf clubs, you can do it no matter when.
You're driving along, and all of a sudden the kids are yelling from the back seat, I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, damn it.
It's one of the better pranks.
I love it.
But I'm so mad when it happens to me, but then I'm like, fuck.
Do you ever get to a point where you check your strap?
Yes.
Every time?
Oh, like there's certain rounds where we were doing it to each other so much that like every single time you're checking your golf bag. Or like you get going and you'd like hear it kind of going back and you'd be like, fucker.
All right, Matt, we are going long here, and I apologize. Thank you for the golf feedback and the golf etiquette. Let's move on to the best or worst wing sauce.
What's your take on it?
What are the best?
What's like the two best? And I'm more kind of concerned about what's the worst wing sauce.
Well, I'm glad you asked me this, Matt, because I recently just ate some chicken wings that somebody else made. Not just for me, but like for me and the other guests. And they were like a little nervous because I was there. And they know I'm a wing connoisseur. They're actually pretty good. Not going to lie. But it is in my professional wing sauce opinion that the best sauce is a variant of the buffalo.
Like a mild, medium.
Mild, medium, the orange colored stuff, just a classic buffalo, some sort of hot sauce. The heat can vary, but the flavor should never of the classic buffalo sauce. So I would say that's the best. And then as far as the worst, I would say a very dry, like a dry rub that puts the dry in dry rub. It's like, this is way too dry.
You had a hot barbecue.
I did?
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago when we were at a restaurant that'll go unnamed. They're famous for their wings.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
And yeah, it tasted like they took a very average barbecue sauce and just put like some Tabasco in it. It was awful. It was like hot enough to make you uncomfortable, but didn't taste good enough to be worth the uncomfort.
Well, and I mean, sometimes I realize as a wing connoisseur and a wing preparer, somebody who makes wings, it's like I gotta up my range a little bit. But I think you can't go wrong if you're making homemade wings or if you're just out and about getting wings. Going with some sort of buffalo or barbecue can't go wrong. Also, if you're just asking whoever is waiting on you, if you're asking them, hey, what's the best wing sauce? Maybe a better question is, how often do you order these wings? And they say, oh, I don't know, every once in a while. Oh, what do you order? Because if you just say, what's the best wing sauce, they may just say like what's on the top of their head or what other people are ordering, which also is a good indicator. But when it comes to wings, it comes down to individuality.
I don't like anything that has mustard like in the name for wing sauce. I like mustard by itself. Honey mustard's great, but like someone came out with like a bourbon honey mustard. Sounds pretty good, right? Not great at all. And then I will say teriyaki is the most overrated wing sauce.
You know, I get what you're saying with teriyaki, so I could agree with you to a certain degree, but I would say that the teriyaki sometimes slaps on leftover wings. Because it's not, I don't know. What's your thought on fresh wings, leftover wings?
I think leftover wings are one of the best, like, traveling leftover.
Yes.
Like, Chinese food travels pretty well. Anything potato-based doesn't, but wings are up there. Or, like, leftover wings, like, after a night out, and you have 6,
you get home from... you slugged down 17 beers.
Dude, I had 6 corn dogs.
You had an
on
early
Friday
dinner.
night.
You get home from the bars. You forget all about it. You open the fridge, and there is a leftover box full of wings. Probably top 3 feelings in the world besides having sex and winning the lottery.
It's up there. Like, surprise food when you're so drunk you don't realize you have leftovers is up there.
I couldn't agree more. Let me ask you this since we're on the subject, and if I get way too far off, just let me know. But when you go out, let's say you're going out to eat, or you're not making your food at home here in this situation. Is there certain places where you're ordering their chicken, whether it's the chicken tenders, chicken nugs, whatever? With certain places, you have certain sauces. Or are you a universal chicken sauce guy? You know what I'm saying?
Like
for example,
if honey barbecue, I'm gonna
correct.
get that.
Like when I go,
I'm place by place. Like
if I go to McDonald's, I'm getting barbecue sauce, but that is not the case everywhere.
I love sauces, and I know which sauces I like at certain places.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, because I'm fat.
No, well, I do the same thing. So I'm also fat then, if that's the consensus.
I'm a sauce guy. Like if I get wings.
Yes, Matt, we know you love to sauce.
If I get wings and then I have fries on the side, I'll get a different sauce from my wings as a side to dip my fries in.
Or like there's a small town gas station that I hit up anytime I'm passing through. It has great chicken tendies. Last time I was there, they only had the nugs, but that was fine. I don't know why I get honey mustard there.
That gas station honey mustard that comes in the little square package thing
at the local watering hole. Ranch until I die. It's like just bring out the container full of ranch. Don't give me a little cup. Just bring out the container.
They have a sweet chili sauce that is so good that I started
the wing sauce.
Yeah,
I guess I'm talking about like a dipping.
Oh, dipping sauce. And
I am weaving in and out of like chicken and chicken wings here, but like for McDonald's, for example. If I get some McNugs, I'm getting barbecue sauce.
I'm a sweet and sour at McDonald's.
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine.
I'm so fucking hungry right now.
Yeah, my mouth is watering.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah, let's get off of this. We could go eat wings and then we'll.
Oh, dude, I would go for some.
Yeah,
wings
I would fuck up some wings right now.
Nice. We're not gonna get anything done after this.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Okay, I was thinking about this the other day. I always like to refer to myself as a North Sider here in Bismarck, born and raised almost 30 years. Yes, I lived in Phoenix for a little bit, lived out in Fargo, Grand Forks, a few other places. But for a majority of the time, it's always been Bismarck through and through. And then you hang out with people from the area, or people move here, you figure out where they live. You're driving north, you're driving south. So I keep referring to myself as a North Sider. I got invited to a party on the South Side. I go, oh, South Sider, huh? Made me think, Bismarck Civil War, who's winning and why?
Oh, God, it's tough.
Where do you draw the line?
The easy line is divide.
Okay, that's why they called it.
Yeah, I think, God, it's a different demographic. Like, your frontliners, your infantry, the South Side's taking that. Your thinkers, though.
See, that's exactly what I was
thinking. And the money is on the north. But then you get the river. If we're talking Navy, the South Sider's Navy is probably looking a little bit better than the North Side.
Yeah.
And the South Side's got the airport.
The South Side Navy and Air Force is...
If you give the Coast Guard to the north...
I don't know, there might be boots on the ground.
But then you got the Northeast where there's a bunch of shithole. Like the families that moved in, they called in a bunch of bomb threats to the high school.
They all got surgery scars out in the Northeast.
Yeah, that's like Northwest. It's funny, like
I'm technically a Northwest Sider.
Yeah, that's what it's the rich because there's no poor neighborhoods up there.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I went from the south to the central to the north.
Yeah, you have been a Bismarck whore.
Yeah, well, I was on the nice part of the south side, the German streets.
That's true.
And then I moved to the historical district to an old-ass house that was pretty sweet.
That house was actually up during the Revolutionary War, so a lot of history there.
It was recently constructed, and then World War I broke out. They had to stop. Yeah. Then they finished it.
They had a bomb shelter there for the Cold War.
Yeah, World War II broke out. They added the third level after that. Yeah, it was a good one, though. And then, I moved up north. But I'm a central dude.
Oh, sorry. Scratching my back.
When I was looking at a house to buy, I literally just drew a circle that was like, I'll live in these areas. If there's anything else, don't show me it.
For your realtor?
Yeah. I literally took like my brother's Senate district, and I was like, if it's in here, I'll live there. If not, don't even show me it.
Yeah, well, where I live, I'm probably as north side as I get.
Yeah. You throw a baseball and you're in a field.
And then people are always like, why do you live all the way up there? It's like, okay, first of all, everybody listening right now, if you reside in a city smaller than Minneapolis, let's say, it doesn't take that long to get across town. 15 minutes is not a long time. One thing I have learned, over the years and especially lately is I would not do well in a city because I'm constantly just under the impression that it takes 10 to 15 minutes to get everywhere I need to go.
Yeah.
If I need to plan out 1 to 2 hour commute, not going to go great. I'm not going to be good at it. Constantly running late, and I can make up for it by speeding through residential areas.
I mean, I'm mad if it takes me more than 6 minutes to get to work.
Yeah.
It's also very sunny now when I'm going down Divide, and there's a crosswalk that constantly have children on it. And I don't know if you noticed, but my window is dirty as shit. I'm like, there might be a chance I erase an entire crossing guard family.
A lot of tree sap.
Yep.
I guess my opinion, and we both got to come up with an answer here, for sure answer. I'm not biased, but I'm going to go with the North. I think the South is grittier. I think the South, or they're grittier.
If it's trench warfare, I'm giving it to the South.
This is residential warfare. I mean, I'm giving it to the North. A, the money and resources. B, the strategy against the dum-dums in the South.
Dude, I'm going full-on Red Dawn here, and I think the South takes this.
Okay.
The Wolverines, you got Lincoln down there. They love meth. Those guys aren't going to be going to sleep anytime soon. Then you got, where does Mandan side with the whole thing?
Maybe we'll leave it to our viewers and our listeners. Check us out on YouTube at NBNH Podcast or any of our social medias. What do you think would win the Civil War in Bismarck? The North or the South? I guess we're going to have to find out and see what our listeners say. Let's move on to Facebook Marketplace. We always love to talk about this platform on the podcast because there are just doozies constantly rolling in, giving us free content to steal. Matt, are we working backwards or forwards?
Yeah, let's start with the most recent one. I literally sent you this today. Someone just puts up and says, "Good stuff, best offer, please," and did the classic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So this costs $1.2 million. Okay.
$1,234,567 for, this is what you're getting: a old nail gun, a Darth Vader Star Wars action figure, helmet not included.
Are you sure?
I think
Did it say that in the description?
No, but that
looks like an X-Men or like something different.
It's a black figurine.
Okay.
2 bike tires that go to a very specific bike.
Very specific.
And a air conditioner that has what could be described as human shit on the outside of it.
I also see all the knobs are missing. If you zoom in.
Oh yeah.
All the knobs.
So yeah, whatever it's set on, that's what you're getting in your house. Do you like it a balmy 79 degrees? Then yep, that's what you're getting. And it's clearly sitting in a basement, hasn't been used in years.
Well, it is, it's that fall cleanup time of the year, so I'm sure a lot of people are going through their junk, and that's exactly what it is, but people have a tough time grasping reality that their stuff is indeed junk. So for $1.2 million, you can get a nail gun, compressor not included, a knockoff Star Wars action figure, some bike tires. If you zoom in, Matt, the tread on those do not look very good.
They look like nice bike tires. Like, if anything, that was the winning thing of, unless you want to kill your neighbor with a nail gun.
And then you have an air conditioner that is set to something that can never be changed. What else do we got here? Oh, this one's funny. The new bank. Why don't you take this one?
Did I send that? Oh, yeah, the bank. Someone posts on, was it Bismarck reporting?
Bismarck's people reporting news. Said the caption, anonymous. Synonymous member says, the new bank on 43rd is open. That'd be 43rd Avenue.
That bank is located in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, we do not have that chain of banks. How did you came across this? Because you sent it in the old GM between us. How did you decipher the exact location here?
I think 43rd is like a very busy street in Omaha, and I've been there a ton, and I know that credit union
so Omaha also has a 43rd street or avenue? Ours is avenue in Bismarck.
I think it's street in Omaha. I could be wrong, though. I know my dad's going to correct me. He's like, you fucking idiot.
Because they didn't specify in the post here. But it is Bismarck's people. I mean, maybe they are a Bismarck person. They're just reporting the Omaha news.
Some of the comments were great, though. They're like, I don't see it on 43rd. What's the cross intersection? I'm like,
somebody definitely was like sitting on their chair, and they're just trying to watch like something like, I don't know, The Equalizer.
Who the fuck has the goddamn gall to call his house on a Tuesday night? God, damn it!
They got up out of their chair, went to drive on 43rd, and was like, probably almost got into several car accidents. And they're like, where the fuck is this? This chain of bank isn't even...
I think the nearest one is literally 600 miles away from here.
All right, so Bismarck has illiterate people. I'm across the table from one now, and there are more out there.
Dude, I don't know what is up with North Dakota and hay, but I see nonstop shit of people like, hay for sale, come mow my lawn. This one was literally, the caption of it is, this is wild, all exclamation, or all caps, 2 exclamation points. Snow piles found under 2 to 3 feet of horse shit and hay. The snow's not frozen. It's like, I could not care less about a single topic more than this at this time in my life.
I mean, I'm going to give them a little bit of credit here. Just the general fact that there still is snow that hasn't completely melted. It is September. Our last snowfall, we got a blizzard in April. 5 months of, nice weather. That's pretty wild. I will say that. However, this is not something that needs to make it on every airwave across the land. I saw this not only on the post that you sent here in the group message. I saw several meteorologists resharing it and being like, oh my God. Which, quick side note is, there is a local meteorologist that I found out is a big fan of No Brains, No Headache podcast. Stopped by, ran into them at the street fair. They said, hey, aren't you the podcast guy? And I said, why, yes, I am. And then I had our stickers that I ordered, sparkly stickers. I said, hey.
Can you wear this on your forehead during your next broadcast?
Yeah, I said, hey, I got something for you. I grabbed the sticker and I said, I'm a fan of yours. Now you can be a fan of mine. I thought it was pretty smooth. And then
he threw it in the garbage right in front of me.
They were just like, they're like, yeah, we listened to a few of your episodes like on our drive, on our last road trip out to somewhere in Minnesota or whatever. And I always love when people tell me that, and they themselves seem like really nice, wholesome people contributing to society, and they say they listen to our podcast, and I'm always just like me and you want listeners, obviously. We love new listeners. Thank you for listening right now. But when, like a very well put together person's like, I listen to your podcast, it's always like,
you sure?
So yes, I definitely, meteorologists were posting about this snow that didn't melt. Whoop-de-doo.
License plates.
This is so ironic.
Someone's trying to sell 23 license plates and a motorcycle plate for $100. I do know this person, so I'm not going to shit on them too much. My main question is, where do you get this many license plates?
Yeah, how many vehicles are you going through?
And if that's lucrative, I'm going to start stealing license plates.
You know what I love in this whole post? The line that says, all used in good condition. No, I thought... I figured they had a few miles on them. All they do is sit there,
dude,
bolted to your vehicle.
Dude, there's one from like 1985 that
I see that.
Yeah, and I actually know the car that that came off of. It's a sweet Mustang.
There's one in 93, 99,
Yeah.
06, 98, 06, 92, 05, 02.
But I'm sorry, I'm not going to make a dustpan out of something that clearly has holes.
That's what that is?
Yeah, that clearly has holes in it.
Yeah, they basically took 2 blocks of wood, formed them in a T, and then bent the edges of the license plate into, oh my God.
That's like something I made in Boy Scouts, and then I bring it home and my dad throws it away.
Hey, is there something I could buy at the dollar store for $1? Why would I do that when I can buy 23 license plates for $100? Yeah, I mean, I'm all for reduce, reuse, recycle. Like, I absolutely love that. I hate wasting things. Nobody wants your license plates. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And this is so ironic because we've talked about the posts in the past. I actually did see another one where people are selling their vehicle and they take the picture and they put their finger out to cover up the license plate. Matt and I's argument against that is, A, you need specific access to a database to even see what that license plate is. If you're posting it on social media, you are saying to the world, this is mine. So all they're going to find out by looking up your license plate number is that it's yours, the person who posted it. 2, you can take a screwdriver, even a penny, and about 4 minutes out of your day and take it off for the pictures. 3, it is 2023. We have the modern technology with any sort of editing tool, any sort of drawing tool to cover up that license plate with your finger not on it. And the 4th argument, which goes right into what we're talking about right now, is when you sell that vehicle to somebody else, that license plate pretty much ceased to exist.
Yeah.
So even if your license plate number is out there, once you sell it, it becomes license plates for sale that you can make into a goddamn dustpan. I'm going to get worked up.
I mean, that'd be getting worked up would work into the next one that you sent me.
Take it over.
If you have $5,000 and want to buy a camper that is spray painted hot pink
and lime green
on the sides and then lime green on the front and then says Rage Room up top, because God forbid you can't go to one of those anyways. But if you want to spend $5,000 on a mobile Rage Room, honestly, this person could make more money if they just paid someone to pay $5 and you either get a sledgehammer or an axe and you can come beat the shit out of this thing.
Out of the camper.
Yeah. Make more money off that. No one wants your former meth lab turned Rage Room. You can go ahead and set that on fire, bury it under some manure. Snow will keep till next year. I do not give a shit. Does it come with the license plate that I can make into a dustpan?
Yeah, I love, like, I'm glad that certain trends and or technology makes it here to North Dakota.
How much for that can of WD-40 that's in the picture?
I don't know, but they have some face masks and helmets that could also probably be pretty decent. Anyway, I don't understand escape rooms or rage rooms. I don't get it.
No.
And the fact that this is a mobile rage room.
What if we just get a rage room combined with an escape room? If you can get out by raging, you win.
I'm just saying, if it's mobile, means you're traveling around. I was taught as a young child to not do certain things. And one of them was to not go into a sketchy looking establishment.
This is
on
like,
wheels or not.
This is a Netflix documentary.
So when you pull up to, let's just say, the town of Ellendale. Yeah, that's a town in North Dakota. They got real creative with it. Ellendale. Hey, do you want to pay money to come into my sketchy-ass looking camper? That's the opposite of what humans were conditioned to do. I just don't see the business plan working out very well.
Another fun idea is if you hook this up and you drive around with it while people are doing the rage room.
Yeah, now we're talking.
And videotape that. You like open it up and someone accidentally like axe someone in the head.
Mm-hmm. Like in Yellowstone.
Yeah, when he drives around and then he's like, all right, guys, come on out, and goes back and the guy's head's turned on the other way.
Love it. Mobile Rage Room. If you're in need of one, we have it for you. that it for Facebook Marketplace this week?
Yep.
I believe so. Also, I'm sure those Crown Royal bags, 100 bags for $40.
Oh, I actually bought those.
Oh, you did?
No.
Moving on to mini helmet fantasy football. Do you have the Dr. Seuss hat?
Yes.
All right, Matt. As commissioner and creator, why don't you explain mini helmet fantasy football?
Mini helmet fantasy football, we draft or pick out of a hat, and then we can pick either quarterback, running back, wide receiver, or tight end from teams playing on Thursday and Sunday. We take out the Monday night games. I missed one last week, I'll be honest. So I open up my CBS Sports app, and I forget that I'm a Panthers fan. They're playing tonight, so they put them on top, and I immediately think, oh, there's one.
Yeah. No, I know what happened there.
And so what are the chances that we either get one of the two teams? Or what is the chances that one person gets both of the teams?
And to clarify, we had pulled out the Saints and Panthers because Monday night games, we record on Monday, so we take those out. I had no clue as well, so I will take a little bit of credit here. Turns out there's a doubleheader. There's two games, Monday night games.
I picked the Steelers and the Browns.
Championship.
I am going to take the L on that one because it was my fault. And I'm not going to give myself any points for that. So that gives Jordan the 59-47 win.
Barely beat you.
The only reason it is not more is because Jordan picked a tight end who is currently on the IR.
Well, this is No Brains, No Headache podcast, people. And if you are listening to this show to get some sort of intelligent enlightenment, boy, are you in the wrong spot. You should all just be happy that we started mini helmet fantasy football on time this year. Usually it takes a few weeks, like Matt currently for DraftKings. I have yet to set up a DraftKings lineup because it always takes me a few weeks to get used to like my normal fantasy football teams. I want to hear something pathetic. I just realized this the other day. I have the Dope Bowl, which is my fantasy football league with my close friends that I've had for 11 years now. I have my family league. We have the podcast league, which we need to talk about.
Players only meeting tomorrow.
And then Matt and I got conned into a guillotine league,
which is I'm starting to like now.
Well,
because my team's good.
And by conned, I mean we just got asked and said yes.
We agreed pretty easily. Yeah. So it's like.
I'm also have my fantasy baseball team. Update on the Mound Dawgs. The Mound Dawgs are a dynasty in waiting. We are in the championship, and I say we because the Mound Dawgs is your team. It is all of our listeners. You guys are all a part of it, okay? You give me the strength and energy to check my lineup daily. I was a champion in that league in 2019. In 2021, I sent Matt the graphic. I didn't realize I won it in 2019. COVID year, I dropped to 8th and then won it again in 2021. Pretty impressive to go the first to last to the first.
You gotta take a year off sometimes.
Last year I took 4th. Now this year I am vying for a championship. I think if I win it, it's safe to say that is a dynasty. 3 championships in 5 years. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
I'll call that a dynasty.
2 weeks long. The semifinals were 2 weeks. Now I have 2 more weeks of the championship. So between all of those fantasy football teams, between the Mound Dawgs and the playoffs, I can't even, and between mini helmet fantasy football, technically that's my 5th fantasy football league. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be this guy. I am becoming somebody I don't want to be.
You're the fantasy guy. That's all you can talk about. So how's your fantasy football team? I don't have one. Well, I can very tell that we're not going to be friends, so I'm just going to go the other way.
Well, and I mean, every day I'm having a little bit of an existential crisis. 22 days sober as of today. I'm also no longer single. So the identity that I used to have is like, no, I'm a whole new person right now.
You're getting a third identity.
Yeah, this is wild. Multiple personality disorder. On top of that, the brain can't handle
Actually,
it.
I could go a 4th. I came up with another one that I'll tell you off the record because it's pretty mean, but...
Of personality for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's bad, but
thanks for not shitting on me audibly in front of all of our listeners. Or if you're watching on YouTube, search No Brains, No Headache. But between all that, it's very hard, so I haven't even done any DraftKings yet.
I can't wait to tell you about that.
I'm really excited, too. We should go have some chicken wings and talk about it.
Okay, you go first.
Oh, wait, well, let's go over who we had last week. It's
you had
always fun.
Jared Goff, 28 points. CMC, 21 points. DeAndre Hopkins, 8. Greg Dolachek, IR.
He's on the IR.
Hurts, 26 points. Chubb, currently playing. Devontae Adams, 21 points. Pratt Firemouth, currly playing.
So, between the 8 picks...
We had 5 for 8. It's like 68%.
We are rocking a 62.5%, also known as a D.
That's what I got in the Great Catholic Adventure in college.
All right, we are choosing a helmet representing all 32 teams, except... So, we do have another doubleheader next Monday
That I
night.
checked.
Do I need to check that really quick?
Nope, it's Chargers, Bengals, Eagles, Buccaneers.
All right. So, God willing that none of us take somebody on the goddamn IR, we're going to have a good week, even the playing fields.
And you almost broke the record for highest amount of points scored in this season.
I popped 2 of them off the draw. Bang, bang. Yeah. Then I raise up to take the leader out.
Oh shit, I feel like I'm there now.
I hear a whistle. My partner's on the roof. He says, "Let's even the odds!" He tosses me down a Mossberg pump. I send one through his chest. Game over, bitches.
Classic gets
How did that make you feel? Like my cock was made of concrete.
That's judgment, Jimmy.
Douchebag.
All right, my first pick, I have the New York Jets. Hand over the sack to Matt here. Matt, quit looking in there. I did the same thing, though. Okay, so the New York Jets are piloted by Zach Wilson, which is scary. And can't trust their running backs. Dalvin Cook had a fumble. Every Vikings fan was rejoicing afterwards, as if like that one fumble justified what happened with him. But I'm not going to fall for it. I'm going to go with the safe pick here. Give me Garrett Wilson. He seems to be, no matter who his quarterback is, he's going to catch a tutty just about every week.
My first pick, I got the Jaguars, and I'm going to take... Does Evan Ingram play for them?
Let me pull it up, buddy.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm just an idiot. Yeah, give me Evan Ingram. I don't want to worry about a tight end.
Oh, it's going with the tight end right away, huh? Jaguars should have beat the Chiefs, by the way. That was a poor game.
That game was like watching the Carolina Panthers play. Not great.
All right, my second pick, the San Francisco 49ers. So for 3 weeks in a row, I will take Christian McCaffrey.
That's convenient. My second pick, I got the Seahawks. And
man, that's a decision.
Yeah.
Kenneth had a big game.
I'll go with Kenneth Walker, the third, / the fourth, the fifth.
Kenneth Walker, I. Just like Tia on Facebook.
Yeah, fuck.
That was a real bugaboo.
Yeah, that was an FML of the week.
Can't win them all. I got the Baltimore Ravens.
You quarterback or tight end when you have two very good options here.
Who do they play? Does it matter? Give me Lamar. Garrett Wilson, CMC, Lamar. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good squad so far.
I hate my team.
Yeah, yours isn't great.
Scrappy group of...
Ooh. Matt got the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh,
You're just not having a great fantasy.
Yeah, so I got to take Jordan Love or some popcorn. I'm going to go with Jordan Love, I guess. Because...
Well, it's the Packers. They're going to have their third Hall of Fame quarterback in a row, so...
Schnoz itches.
All right, final pick, and I'm going for tight end. If I could somehow get the Chiefs, that would be great. The Raiders.
Michael Mayer?
The Raiders. Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. CMC is going to beat my entire team anyways, so...
Yeah, Michael Meyer.
Ooh, Tyreek Hill got the Dolphins.
Nice. Can't go wrong there. So, my team is Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, Garrett Wilson, and Michael, is it Meyer or Mayer? Mayer, tight end for the Raiders. Matt's team is
Jordan Love, Kenneth Walker, Tyreek Hill, Evan Ingram. One team is better than the others, but that's our show this week. You can check out Comedy Night 5 coming up September 29th at Dakota Stage Theater. Doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 7:30.
Get your tickets online or at the door. Big Dog Tiki Bar will be providing the alcoholic beverages. Obviously, Matt and I will be on stage. We'll be joined by a few other comedians. We got Zach Rittenhouse making his return to Bismarck. So, Comedy Night 5, Friday, September 29th. It's coming up quick, so make your plans now. What else can they do, Matt?
Follow us on social media at NBNH Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And you can leave us a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, or leave us a rating on Spotify. We will see you next week for episode 171.
This is a freestyle off the top of the dome. Here we go. And I do it again, 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 again. I do it only once. Again, 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 again. I do it